in the house. Dude, I've always wanted to have you on because, one, you're a Texas guy. Two, you win a lot. And three, you're one of those guys who always speaks his mind. And four, you've helped me out on Lake Fork over the years. And
one spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's
no,
like,
you showed me a couple spots.
Yeah, but everybody's like, oh, you showed Chris Zaldain all your stuff. I'm like, no, I didn't. I showed him one spot.
You showed me
pretty
two
much.
spots, and I ran with it.
And then he blew your lake up.
You blew your lake up.
Yeah, that is a common
Yeah.
mistake that everybody, oh, why do you show Chris everything?
Yeah.
Man?
Are we?
I didn't. He's just good.
Yeah.
Showed
You
him
showed
one
me a
spot.
couple things.
Yeah.
You turned the light bulb on is what you did, and it, just like every guy out here on tour, it's like you give them that much right there, and they turn it into a freaking mile.
Oh, yeah.
And here you know, we're talking about this, and here you and I are at currently, as we're filming this on Lay Lake when the top 50's fishing, and we completely missed the mark here this week. So
Yeah, we never got that bite.
no, no, and on paper too, like May. You know, Alabama, shoreline grass, like I'm sure like all kinds of fantasy fishing people like Lee Livesay.
Right up my alley. I mean, exactly what Brandon's doing. And the rest of, everybody swimming a jig, frogging, buzz baiting.
And by the time people watch this, they're going to know who the winner is, but we have no clue, so it's just one of those things we're kind of sitting back and watching.
Is there anything you can pinpoint that went wrong, like looking back already?
Oh, easy.
I hate when she does this, by the way.
No, it's very easy.
I talked through it with him.
Yeah.
I kind of did it at Santee, to be honest. Just wrong end of the lake. I had some false bites, some false reeds down by the dam, and I think that's what happened to you too.
False clues, yeah.
Man, we stayed on the other end of the lake. I put in there, went into a creek, caught a couple great big spots right off the bat, and saw some big largemouth down there, and I was like,
called
okay,
it good. Yeah.
I can build my tournament around down here.
Yeah.
And, not that I didn't come up, but I tried to build it down there. It's hard to catch them at the dam and the other dam. When I do good, I'll do it good in an area, just like Polinick and these other guys are doing.
And build it.
I picked the wrong area.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You picked the wrong area to build upon. That's exactly how it went down.
Oh,
for me,
and
too.
I went and looked at the fish, the exact fish Brandon's catching. But
Wow.
I went in there at like 1 o'clock one day, and it was calm and sunny, and I could just see them swimming everywhere, and I couldn't get them to bite. I didn't think I could catch them. And, I just went in there frogging. I wasn't finessing or anything. And I told Caleb and Logan, I was like, man, I saw like 500 bass back here behind the bridge, like right where Kevin won. And Caleb went in there, couldn't catch them, and then Logan went in there and caught one. But we all went in there in the middle of the day. If we'd have went in there and had 2 or 3 bites early one day,
Yeah.
and then you're like,
it changes the
hell
whole.
yeah. If I can get 3 frog bites in the first 3 or 4 hours, I'm going to catch another 1 or 2
At
doing
least.
whatever
Yeah.
it is. But good for Brandon. He whooped me
Gosh,
this week.
that's crazy, man. That is.
That's all it was.
Right.
Wrong end of the lake, and then just some false.
It's
little
crazy
false
how
bites.
just something little sends you on the wrong path.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things in professional bass fishing. It's like it's very hard to put into words, like and the viewers are just thinking, oh, those guys are just up there whining. But like when you come so close, but yet you're so far, and you don't realize until the day after, the morning after, when you wake up and you let out a 4-letter word, like why didn't I just do like this instead of what I did? And it just. It's so cliche, but hindsight's 20/20. But it's so freaking true when you're on tour. I mean,
It was really tough.
Yeah.
Practice was really tough.
Yeah.
I mean, end to end. I don't care what anybody
Oh, yeah.
says. So it's hard to change once you suck
yeah,
on one day, unless you just have the knowledge, and I don't here.
yeah,
It's hard to say, oh, I'm not
Adapt.
going back down there
Right.
because I swam a jig for 8 hours up here, or, just saying, in practice and never had a bite. So you're like, I can't go up there and try to catch one on a swim jig like whoever is. I haven't watched that much.
Sure.
And catch them. Like Caleb, I just told y'all that Caleb, he made that move yesterday. He fished with me on the first day and was all right. He had like almost 11 pounds, but he made a decision not to go back down there. And he stayed up here and swam a jig and a buzzbait and caught a bag, jumped back up, saved him a lot of points, and made him 10 grand. So that's the decision you have to make. That's hard when you have a tough practice like that. Now, if we had been here 20 times or
Had some confidence.
had knowledge that man, you can run up the river and fish these little grass patches or stay where Polinick is. And you're going to get 3 or 4 big bites, and that's different. I didn't have that.
Right.
yep. None of us really had the the history to go off of, and it's just so frustrating too because the week before you see these local weights 22, 21, 20, 18, 18, 18, 17. It's like when practice is as tough as it is, you made a post, like you scratching your head. That's how I felt too. I told them, I was like, dude, this is one of the worst practices I ever had. It's like, oh, so frustrated, man.
I think it's very area oriented or
Yeah.
little stretches or
Yeah.
stuff, and it's hard to, if you don't know those, you could swim a jig or throw
Yeah.
a buzzbait or
Forever.
whatever for miles for
Yeah.
literally 7 or 8 hours, and you'd get one bite,
Yeah.
you know, and you can't build any confidence off that, but just knowing the little stretches and stuff,
Dude,
like
I'll admit, this
water level is
level
huge
too.
here, like an inch or 2
Yeah.
here is huge.
I'll admit this is one of the only times I've done it before, but this is only one, especially this week where I'm running down the river in practice, and I'm like, okay, so who's that? What's he doing? Okay, there's a local boat. Okay, let me zoom out of my map. Let me see what kind of bend he's on, and it's like, okay, I need that kind of insight because, like you said, you got no history to go off of, so you try to use those little nuggets in the tournament, and it never works out. But it's like, I'm desperate, dude. I need something.
There's a lot of fish in here.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of had some false bites down there, like I said, but
Yeah.
like that mid lake area, the first 2 or 3 brush piles I fished in
Yeah.
practice, man. I put my Mega Live out there, and there's a whole bunch of them. I threw a jerkbait out there, like 2.5 pound largemouth on the first 3. So I spent like a day, you know,
course.
looking for piles
Rabbit hole.
in that shallow depth. You know, they were like 5 to 10 foot piles, and they all had fish on them. And in practice, they fit. And then the last 2 days, they just follow it out and wouldn't touch it. So
How many years did you fish the opens? How many years did it take you until you qualified?
I think I fished the opens.
Just 1 year?
No. I fished at least 3 years. I want to say 3 years.
Really, 3 years?
Yeah.
I thought you were a one and done guy.
No, I missed it by the first year. I bombed the
Okay.
last one at Chaffalay Basin. I didn't even fish the second day. I went to Venice and didn't get any bass. Did a stupid run.
We have
the
a
second year I lost it at Grand. I was about to qualify,
that fall tournament.
and I actually had 2 on a spook at the same time coming in. Like that's my Elite Series bird the second day. A big one on the back hook, and it shook off. And
One fish.
that one fish, I think I weighed 3 or 4 in that.
Wow.
day. But no, it took me 3.
I remember when you qualified, and I felt like, who is this guy? He's just like, I felt like that year you did so well. You know, it seems like you could do no wrong. What I remember, I didn't know you at the time.
Well, we saw you were from East Texas, and we are like, okay, who's this guy? And then we have a mutual friend who's like, yeah, dude, that guy's a hammer. I'm like, all right, cool. We'll start keeping an eye. And then you start winning everything. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
Were the opens as hard or as easy as you expected them to be?
So being from Texas, y'all know this, or living in Texas now, you being from Texas, the competition in Texas is
Stupid.
just,
Yeah.
it's like a whole nother world. And, you know, it's like that everywhere. It
Yeah.
really is, you know, per region.
Yeah.
But just the bass fishing is so huge in Texas. You can go fish for $20,000 to $100,000 every weekend in Texas somewhere.
Yep.
And it's the same, however many
Hammers.
teams you want to call it, 50 guys, 100 guys, 20 guys, whatever it is,
They know what they're doing.
that are taking everybody's money from all over Texas, you know. So just fishing champs and stuff like that, man, it's, if you start winning, you know, I'd won a couple AOYs and some tournaments and boats, stuff like that. It's,
In Bass Champs?
yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, that gave me the
Is
confidence.
that the biggest one in Texas right now, Bass Champs?
Them and Triple T.
Yeah, that triple, it's all the same stuff, you know,
Right.
Same dudes.
people.
Same dudes,
Yeah.
Fishing, Brandon Belt fishing now.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
Brandon Belt.
Triple T's, champs, you know, anything with a big price tag on
The
it.
same groups
guys are gonna
rotate it.
fish. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, your Russell Lees, Castledines,
Yep.
Russell Lees,
Yeah,
Landon
yeah.
Wares, you know, Timber Nose.
Hammer
and,
sticks.
And that's just the first that came out of my mouth. There's 100 of them, you
Sure.
know, that take everybody's money. But fishing that before I got to the opens helped. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So when I got to the opens, you're still like, oh, I don't know if I can compete. You know, you're looking
Yeah.
at the results. You're like, oh, Chris Zaldain got 3rd at the Arkansas River, and you know,
Right.
whoever won, and can I
Right.
do that? And then the first one I fished almost won on the Arkansas River actually, and so that gave me the confidence, like, oh, I can compete. You know?
Right. Did you always know you wanted to fish the elites, or were you just like, was it to make a classic, or just to see how you compared with everyone else, or what kind of was the motivation of the opens?
So I get that question a bunch actually, for people wanting to fish professionally usually, and it was everything, to be honest. But at the same time, it was just the classic. in my head. Just the classic, because you don't ever think you can have the money to fish the
The rest,
elites
yeah.
or be good enough to fish the elites. So for me, when I first jumped in, it was just, man, I just want to make the classic, fish it one time, you know, just want to fish that classic because that's everybody's dream. And
Sure.
that's the big deal. So that's what it was at first, but then you get a little confidence, and
Yep.
then you get a sponsor to step up and give you a little bit of money.
That's
and,
the hit right
and
there.
then you start winning, and it keeps growing from there, and it's just a process, you know, that grows, and then you're like, okay, I think I want to make this a career
Yep.
kind of deal.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy nowadays? Like, you know, you've been on for 3 years now. You said
5. This is
5
my
years.
5th year.
Okay, so 5 years. Man, time has flown.
It's crazy.
And it seems like 5 years ago you could get by with fishing and sponsorships. Now, and I know you stepped up your media game, your YouTube channel. You hired a guy, right? It's just you?
Yep.
What's his name?
Jesse.
Jesse.
I don't know who he is, but he's good.
He's good,
Like,
dude.
I'm a hater when it comes to. I'm like, dude, like that's a waste of money.
You're a
and-
critic, is what you are. You're
Yeah,
not
well,
a hater.
you know, I
Yeah.
just want quality in our
Yeah.
industry, and I feel
Yeah.
a lot of people
Yeah.
don't provide that.
Yeah.
You and
Jesse's
your
kills
guy
it.
are started from day one with
Love it.
quality, so I appreciate that.
So you don't realize it, but it's really, 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 really hard to find a good camera guy. Y'all probably know,
Absolutely.
actually.
Absolutely.
Y'all probably know, actually.
Shout out to Johnny and Charles. Yeah.
y'all-
We
might
got two
know
of them
that.
that are
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
So I tried to do the YouTube deal the year before, you know, and I went through like 4 or 5 different guys.
Yep.
Interviews and it
Within the industry or
a little bit
mix?
everything.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
wherever you
yeah,
could
yeah.
find somebody.
talking to Jake, hey man, you got anybody? He'd send me
Yeah.
some names. Talk
Yeah, yeah.
to Casey at 6 Inch. You got?
Yeah.
They'd send me a couple
Yep,
names,
yep.
and you know, it would just be a disaster,
Yep.
or they wanted too
Too much. Yeah.
or they weren't good enough,
Yeah.
or they'd back out at the last second. A lot of them would, oh hell yeah, I want to do that.
Right.
And then you're
But then
okay,
travel, and
you're
then-
gone for how many weeks?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my wife doesn't want me. You know, kind of
Yep.
stuff.
We had a guy move in with us, and within 24 hours, he had quit. We were like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
So I had that. I was wanting to do it the year before, and I actually stole Jesse from American Bait Works. He,
Shout out to Valerie.
Yep, he
And
worked.
Matt?
He worked at American Bait Works. They know, they're cool.
Yeah.
And Jesse, they had hired Jesse to film at the St. Lawrence River.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
last
yeah.
year.
That's
They filmed
yeah.
Matty Wong and me and Justin Hamner, like 3 or 4 of us,
Yeah.
you know, at the event for ABW and Bait Fuel and stuff. Like I think they might have done some stuff with you, maybe actually. And Jesse like kind of hung out with, you know, our crowd
Fit in.
afterwards, and just like the vibe and
Right.
and everything. And I was just talking in general, like, yeah, man, I'm trying to find a guy for my YouTube channel. If you know anybody, let me know. And he's like,
Yeah.
shit, you
Yeah.
know, I've actually been thinking about, you know, quitting my job and kind of going off road and looking for something like that, you know, let me write you up a proposal and we'll
Nice.
see. So he wrote me up a proposal, and a couple months later we had lacrosse actually was the last one. So I said, hey man, I want to hire you for one event, do it how you would professionally. I'll pay you the same and everything.
Yep.
Come on. And he filmed lacrosse with us in Wisconsin.
episode.
last
Yeah, that was a
year.
good one. Yeah.
Went really well.
Yeah.
And, you know, did it just like we were full time. And I said, if you like it and I like it, then we'll talk again in the fall. And he did a really good job, and not looking back now. I just
That's awesome,
ate
dude. Yeah.
lunch with him like, hey,
He-
man,
he-
you got to step your game down a little bit. I don't want you leaving. Someone's going to jack you.
yeah, dude.
That's hilarious.
You guys capture that chill vibe really, really well. And if I were to ask you, so let me ask you this. So, like, moving forward after 5 years fishing, let's say, you know, we get through another good season, you make the classic. So next year, after filming with Jesse for a year and a half or so, a year,
Yeah.
is it more valuable to to approach sponsors with, hey, I've got, you know, these Elite Series wins, an Open win, the Brandon Belt win, all these wins, or, hey, look, I got this guy Jesse. He crushes it behind a camera. Him and I vibe together. He's kind of expensive, but, you know, can we strike a deal this way? You know, this way. Like, you know, what I'm trying to say, or ask you is, what's more valuable, all these big blue trophies, or Jesse, or both, or what percentage?
I'm still
Figuring it out.
100%,
We'll see.
no, 100% on the elite stuff.
Yeah,
Still.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those
Okay.
trophies sell. Dude.
Yeah,
You know,
good.
nobody knew who I was or
Yeah,
wanted to pay me money until
Yeah.
I started winning.
that's
Sure.
awesome.
No,
Good answer.
100% on that.
Yeah,
But Jesse brings a totally different level to it.
There you go.
And he is expensive.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I
They
told him
are.
from the get
Look
go.
at Charles smiling.
That's what that was the deal.
Why are you smiling
Yeah,
over there?
I'd had such a problem with hiring people, and I was
Yeah.
trying to pay them good, but I
Yeah.
was like,
Right.
hey man, I want to pay you more than anybody's
Yeah.
that I knew.
You want to
Yeah.
take care of them.
In the industry,
Yeah.
if you're going to put out content like he did for the Mississippi River one,
Right.
Yeah.
and so you don't leave me,
Right.
you know, because
Yeah.
there's been other guys that didn't pay their camera guys as good, and they rolled out.
Absolutely.
They got to make a living, dude.
They-
These guys
yeah.
are on the water 24/7 with
Yeah.
you. They're editing at night. Like, they deserve it.
No, I paid him, and I'm not even trying to get into Jesse's business, but
No.
I paid him top dollar, and in our contract, I said, hey man, anything you get us for this YouTube channel, he gets a percentage
There
of.
you
Right.
go,
It's not all
dude.
mine.
That's
So,
Absolutely.
right.
Smart
That's how
man.
to
keep him around
Yep.
and to let him hustle for me too.
Motivate.
Smart
You
man.
know, and Jesse's super professional and he's really good.
Yeah,
Dude.
no, I think what y'all are doing is great, and combining that, like, yes, your wins are great, but letting people see who you really are. Look, we get to
Huge.
know you. You're one of those guys on camera who opens up to the camera, but
Cracks
knowing
a
you
cold ear,
even
yeah.
more in today's world, like, that's key to building a brand. And whenever I've had a lot of conversations about you with many companies, because you're like the face of Texas, to me, in bass fishing. And when you started filming, I was like, he's at this point, he's a winner, and he's telling you that he gets the media side, so it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like, you can't ask for all of those things. Once you can win, and then you understand the media side, like, to me, it's one of those things, like, all in at that point.
Yeah, no, and that going back to your question, I think there's two sides of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's
It's a
two
balance.
sides of the industry
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it helps whether I'm making money off YouTube
Yeah.
or just
Yeah.
the sponsors like it, or
Right.
we're,
Yep.
we're selling it separate.
Yeah.
Because
It's
a
like
whole different world.
It's like a plan B, right? Like you're winning, but maybe you have an off year. Chris is having an off year this year, so
Oh, it
they
happens.
they still need to make money. So
Mm-hmm.
when you've got a fan base who is there for you, and it doesn't matter anymore if you've got a trophy, that's all the better. And it's hard to explain that to people, but when you're in it,
Yeah.
you start to see,
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'd add to that is, it's very hard finding these dudes, definitely. And
It's
I'm
crazy.
just trying to think, like any of the Elite Series guys watching this, or MLF guys, or whoever watching, any professional bass fisherman, it's like, man, they're sitting there thinking, well, how do I get a camera guy? Because you're starting to see more and more.
Yep.
But quality, it's like
There's a lot of
it's like the
people
F around
playing.
and find out, or the crazy hot matrix. It's like, okay, the quality versus the amount of time, and then there's
Money.
the sheer availability of these guys.
There's
Yeah.
a lot who want to get paid who are terrible.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, I'll say it, I'll look at the camera when I say it, that stand on the dock, their parents have bought them some fancy equipment, and they still don't know how to use it or to tell a story, and they want to command top dollar, and they're just not worth it. And then you got the guys who can tell a story, who are doing it with minimal equipment, who aren't asking for an arm and leg, and are ready to get to work. It's crazy. We've been through them, and there's very few of those guys, but those are the guys that, like you said, you'll do anything. You'll pay them more than they ask you for. You'll give them a piece of it because they got the dog in them.
You know
few
what's
of those guys.
Crazy. Was there like half a dozen, 6, 7, 8 maybe, like full-time camera guys out on tour these days at a regular Elite Series event, and then like the Classic rolls around, and you'll see probably 24 like camera guys, like full-on camera running gunners. But like, where does that footage? I mean,
Yeah,
where does
you
it
never see
go?
the
You never
content.
see like that. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
yeah.
Like there's
Oh, yeah.
like huge cameras everywhere. It's like, wait, where does that footage go? Or like on media day, it's like, wait, where is this stuff going? It's a really weird place, the internet.
It's
Really
out,
weird
it's
place.
out there somewhere.
Yeah. But then again, too, it's like their attention spans are so short these days. It's like we've been dabbling with long form videos and short form videos and little quick hitters and things, and it's like it seems like it's constantly changing. It's almost like patterning a bass. Almost, it's like you're trying to.
I want to get back into the fishing side and the opens. So when you qualified in the opens, were there a lot of college people fishing back then? Was it like it is now?
Yeah, I mean there was, but not like as many. Obviously, it's crazy now how good these kids are. But yeah, there was, just
Yeah,
a few,
Sure.
but it's not like now where you're like
it's everywhere. Yeah.
everywhere for sure.
Yeah.
When you came on, did you come on the year of the split? What was your?
19.
So you're kind of like, you fished, but you were kind of also like not totally in the whole like
Step kid.
yeah.
I was a stepchild.
Yeah.
So how did you feel? Like, were you nervous when the split? Like, how did you feel coming into that situation?
Oh, for sure. I mean, you know, we had, I don't even remember how many guys stayed on our side.
Only 6
That,
outside
that got the invite.
So
6 of us.
60 something left, and 6 turned the invite down, and then it was who, 20 maybe,
25-ish, yeah.
maybe.
I mean, it was awkward. You know, it was.
Yeah, it was.
And, you know, I wasn't in the classic, so I had to work the classic that they were all still fishing.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
think
in
Bassmaster
Knoxville.
was gonna fail? Like, were you worried?
Oh yeah, I mean everybody was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I
We
mean,
were-
We didn't know what.
Nobody knew anything. I didn't.
Yeah.
I really didn't know
Yeah.
anything. you
The only
know?
thing we knew was like at the time the sport's biggest names were over there.
Now I will say I 100% didn't think they would fail. Like I remember having conversations like
There's
they
no
don't-
way.
They don't have a
Yeah.
Bassmasters Classic.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Right.
who gives a shit if
Yeah.
they go over there?
Right.
But at the same time, like you said, I mean,
Who knows?
Aaron Martin's over there, Kevin
Yeah, I
Van Dam's
know.
over
Yeah.
there. You know,
People you wouldn't think like,
well,
what?
like
Yeah.
what happens now?
Talent, yeah.
You know, so
Did you like? So you had when did you qualify that year? Like August or September?
no, it was later.
Did
I
this
think we
September,
had
October.
we had a open on Logan Martin like in September.
Yeah.
maybe.
did the split happen before then or after then?
I want to say
Oh.
after,
So you
Shortly after.
like
you-
about the same time.
so you had done all this to qualify, and then boom,
Bomb
it comes
dropped.
out that everybody's leaving.
That was just a complete disaster.
It
The whole
was.
2 or 3 months session for everybody.
For everyone.
I almost don't even remember. It didn't even involve
I
me.
know.
Yeah, that was crazy looking back on it now.
Was it hard to find sponsors? Like, what was it like
Oh,
for you?
100%. I did not have a fishing sponsor my first year. I had Alex. I had Finch Nasty Bait Company.
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that
local
company.
guy.
Yeah, cool dude, Alex. I think he moved to Knoxville actually.
Oh wow.
But he was my only fishing
Wow.
paying sponsor. I still had Dobbins rods, which he
Yeah.
was giving me like 10 rods a year.
Dude, hearing you reminisce just 5 years
But-
ago, like
Yeah.
your rookie season's
No,
crazy.
it was all non-endemic. It was Mike Martin at Anheuser-Busch
Yeah.
at R&K Distribution was my big one, and I had like everything. I had Jeans tire, and I had
Whatever you
a
could put
motorcycle
together.
shop,
Nice,
and
dude.
just
Do you think
everything.
the endemic side, there was a lot of hesitation because of the split, or is it just because you were new?
Man, I got all those deals from guiding and just
Right.
friends
Smart,
or
dude.
friends of
Yeah.
friends, and
Yeah.
it was nobody reaching out to me. Like
Yeah.
besides people that
Right.
immediate.
Did you reach out to any endemics yourself and just get the doors shut? Or?
Yeah, but nothing that worked
Right.
that year. You know, it was.
You and I talked about that. Maybe you're number 2. We talked about
I
that.
think I had like $100,000 in sponsorships my first year, and
That's pretty dang good.
Yeah, that's
95,000 of them were non-endemic. to-
Yeah.
to
just
the
through your
sport.
guide
Yeah.
business.
Well, you know what I mean.
but
Just
just the networking.
a couple of them there,
Yeah.
and like my beer guy wasn't big on. He had been with me before, but just knowing him, you know.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
had
That's huge.
Just
dude.
relationships.
You know how big
yeah,
that is.
McMillan,
like,
the
it's
big insurance
huge.
company
Oh,
was
yeah.
one. He was the
Yeah.
guy that paid me to get in the opens, just stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
that's-
was all like that.
I didn't know that, dude. That's
It
a
is
good.
still big for me. Like I wasn't
Heck
big
yeah.
when I won Chickamauga. It wasn't like all these people called.
Right.
But when I won Fork, the
Yeah.
next year they started calling.
And then you won it again.
Yeah, well, like the second time, which the 42-pound stuff is what, but
Helps.
that's like when.
Yeah.
And I had a relationship with a lot of them already,
Yeah.
like American Bait Works, you know,
Sure.
Halo, NetBait, stuff like that. You know, I'd known Walt and all them for a long time, and Casey at 6
Yeah.
Cents,
Yeah.
but.
When you
What-
repeatedly win, you're saying like
Yeah.
this wasn't a fluke.
Your investment
you know?
is good with me.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, is what you're saying.
The second win is when people showed up to pay
Yeah.
and had to start
Yeah.
a relationship, and then the third and fourth win, you know, I won the Open and the other one back-to-back weeks
Yeah.
last year. That's when
That was a heater, dude.
it went
Yeah.
up, or you know, it got more comfortable.
What percentage of Elite Series? Well, no. Let's see. Okay, so let's call it 100 Elite guys and 80 MLF guys. What percentage of each tour is like, in your opinion, making it like comfortable
What,
making
and wait,
it?
what is making it to you?
So I think there's a lot of guys making, and I'm talking about sponsorships.
Yeah.
Before paying entry fees, before.
Yeah.
Just, I think there's a lot of guys that make $50,000 in sponsorships to $110,000 in sponsorship, and then there's guys that make
250,000 plus.
250 to a million.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know, and the million guys almost don't even count.
Don't it? Yeah.
Because there's just
yeah.
a couple of them.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying there's anything in between because there is, but there's a
Yeah.
lot of low and
Yeah.
a lot of high.
Yeah.
I don't know the percentage.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think is like making it like from a sponsorship standpoint, 250,000 and
To live comfortably, I would want to make 250,000.
$250,000 a year is good.
You're gonna
yeah.
spend 100,000.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
easy.
Your job, you just made 150,000.
Yep.
I know what we spend, and it's
we
even
spend
over
so
that.
much money. We spend so much freaking. I mean, you got to do it. It's like a thing, you know.
Especially in this media world, you know, like it's an investment. You eventually it comes back, right? But still,
No,
I don't know.
I remember my rookie year thinking like I had 105 or something like that, and I made 100 and something the first year. Like I had a good year in my rookie year, and I was like,
Where'd the money go?
"Where's my money?
Exactly.
Like, am I guiding still?
I know,
That's how
dude.
guiding
Isn't that
is,
crazy?
You know, and
It's so crazy.
and that's a hard year. Making 100 grand in
Yeah.
the elites is nothing to.
Think about all the rookies that come by and come through that don't have $100,000 their first year in non-endemics or endemics, because that doesn't exist for
Right.
sure, and don't make 100 G's in winnings that year. Like, do you know how stressful that is, dude?
I remember
So-
sitting down after that season with Taryn. I was
like,
like,
where's my money?
I
Yeah.
need to make
Yeah.
$250,000 in the, you know, give it whatever many years I
Yeah.
said, or this isn't going to work kind of deal.
Would you recommend professional bass fishing to a nephew or, you know, a family member at age, you know, of age of
100%.
fishing? You would, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
You know, you're like the only person who said that.
Yeah.
I think out of all the
Because you
guests.
can make it.
Yeah.
You can.
There's guys
yeah.
making
Yep.
it too.
I
Trust
like
me.
the
I
attitude,
know
dude. I
'em.
like that. Yeah.
You know, I was the guy that wasn't making shit.
Yep.
And it
I'm
turned
making
around.
it now. I'm
That's
not saying
right.
I'm making Gerald Swindle money or
No,
nothing like
yeah.
that.
But
But if you give back to these companies what they
Yep.
want,
Right.
you know,
and you
Makes-
attribute that to, I know you're
and,
a hard.
and winning helps. Trust me.
yeah.
But you know, these people want their media.
When you
and their
say
content.
Right. Yeah.
when you say you could make it, what do you attribute your success to? I mean, it's just, good old fashioned hard work, networking.
I work hard in the off season. I write a lot of proposals
You do, don't you?
to companies, and
Yep.
they know that.
Yep.
Um,
Are there guys that slack off and just
100%.
yeah,
and then whine about it.
yeah?
Well, a lot of people just think
Yeah.
they show up. And
They
say,
blame
hey, man,
Bass.
we want to give you 50 grand.
Yeah.
It ain't like that.
It ain't like
No.
that.
No.
Just because I got my Elite Series card, my Elite Series. Oh, yeah, I made the Elite Series. Like,
No, you got to hustle.
That's when the work starts.
You have to make it numbers wise work for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, even at the end
You
of
got
the
to
year,
start somewhere too.
you're still going to get your money back, if
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
Exactly.
exponentially higher.
Yep.
You know, that's what you have to
Think
make them
about.
believe, whether you're
Yeah.
doing it or not.
Do you still guide at all?
Very little.
Yeah.
Just like maybe you're like
I'm never there.
Busy.
If I'm home, I'm doing what I'm saying.
And
You know,
your
I'm filming
baby.
with Six
Yeah.
Sense or
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
filming for Halo or
Yeah.
filming with I'm going to Mossy Oak tomorrow.
Yeah.
Filming with them for 3 days, Monday,
Nice.
Tuesday, Wednesday. So when you're making money with these companies,
They expect a lot
you're
from
with
you.
them, you're
Yeah.
guiding them,
Yep.
but you're just doing media
Yep.
content, you know, whether it's video and or pictures or whatever. So my guiding turned into
Work and-
content
yeah,
for the companies that are paying me.
right.
So that's how it works.
And you got to enjoy it too, or at least fake the smile. You know,
I actually enjoy it. you
Yeah,
know? And
good.
I do miss guiding a little bit.
a little bit.
A
Yeah.
little bit. Just the people that I
Yeah.
guided, you know, you
Yeah.
Meet some cool
You
people,
become friends
yeah.
with them, you know, like my buddy. But just there's a whole hodgepodge of people that you meet
That's
that you
awesome.
miss.
So you made it. You came through the opens. The split happened. Obviously, you established yourself. Is there anything that, like, you can say now that you're disappointed about that you thought was gonna be better, or that you're like, wow, that this is so much better than I thought it would be? Is there anything that you had high hopes for that didn't quite pan out, or vice versa?
I don't know. I mean,
Like when you were younger and dreaming about it, and
that's a hard question
right.
to answer. I mean, you think, oh, I'm making the elites. My Instagram account's going to go from
Yes, dude.
It's hard.
3,000 to 300,000
Dude, it's
next
Exactly,
year.
dude. Isn't that
It
crazy?
doesn't.
It's
It
a
does
game,
not.
man.
No.
It's a
It
game.
does not.
So stuff like that, but besides that, I mean, it's still a dream. You know,
Right.
you're still fishing the elites, and there's
Yeah.
so many people out there that want to be doing what we're doing.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
Whether we're bitching or moaning
Yeah.
about how tough it is, or doing good or bad. You know, it's a tough road,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day,
You're still fishing.
This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you get to fish for a living. That's
Yeah.
crazy, dude.
No doubt.
It's what surprises me is like, for example, you know, did we have the FS1 contract when you won Fork the last time?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we did,
Yeah, we
right?
Because it was
last year.
after COVID
So, like,
when
yeah,
it started
when-
coming.
yeah,
we did
right.
We did last
21.
year. Yeah.
When you're
22.
featured on FS1, you know, you would think that would correlate to or result in all, like you said, like thousands of Instagram follows, likes, whatever it is. And Instagram, I'm just saying that because it's like a metric, right, that they could, you know, that
Yep.
potential sponsors could track. But that's not the case. It's so weird because Bass comes out with, you know, the Lake Fork event. We had so many views, millions of views here, but you don't like see that in that engagement back or whatever it is. It's just like, it's really weird how it's almost like you're pleasing a different demographic, and that goes side by side with like the whole, you know, the MLF boys. They're filming events, and then 3 months later or whatever, they're airing on Discovery Channel on cable television or whatever it is. And it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, that happened a while ago. And then the FS1 live thing, it's like pleasing our audience, boom, right then, right now. And it seems like, you know, the fresher it is, the more you're delivering on a regular basis. It just
100%
seems
on
like you're getting that, you know, that return, whether it's a comment, whether it's a follow, whatever, all that little thing, you know, it like adds up.
Oh no, that's where it's at.
I don't know where I was going with that, but I mean, I was just kind of, it blows my mind. That,
I totally drifted off.
yeah.
I love you, but
Yeah, the more you deliver now, like it seems like the more you get a steady return back.
Oh yeah, that's how me and Jesse's deal is. Like, we have dates. You have to have that video ready by that date.
Do you have a calendar
yeah.
you set
Oh,
up?
hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you build a calendar?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we talked
She
about
built-
it together.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
but-
ask him if he built a calendar.
Yeah. I deliver the calendar.
Oh no, that
yeah.
was like
Yeah.
you
This
get
guy.
paid for half of that show, and then when you're done with it on that date, you get the rest
There you
of your
go.
pay,
Right.
just
Yep.
to make sure he goes home and hustles.
Yeah.
The only one that I gave him leeway this year was the Murray event. Actually, we stayed
Back
with,
to back.
Well, no, we stayed with Davey Hyde on the water, and he was there with some of his buddies.
Oh yeah.
Had a good
Just-
time.
It was just stories. There's
Yeah.
so much. I
Yeah.
was like, hey,
Little snag.
I
Little
want
hang
you
up.
to make this one really long. I don't
Yeah.
care if
Yeah.
they watch it or not.
Yeah.
But and
And
try to include all
Get
of that.
everything in
Good.
there. I
That's
know it's
cool.
going to take you longer, so we're pushing that one back as far as production, just to make sure he gets it all right.
How old is Jesse?
He's young. He's in his 20s. I can't remember Jesse.
How old
Sorry.
are you, Charles?
21, 22, 22.
I think that's a big key. Johnny's old like us, so he's seasoned for sure.
Johnny's seasoned, but he doesn't have a ton of responsibilities. That's the good thing. You know, that's the wrong.
That's the
You
type of guy
can't
you
have
need,
a camera
yeah.
guy with responsibilities because, like you were talking about
Yeah,
earlier, then they got to
yeah.
go home to their wife,
Yeah.
or they got a kid. There's just like things that in this life you just can't have.
You know what we need to do, bro? Is this is Johnny's idea, matter of fact. We need to have a fishing tournament or challenge. You know, in the boat, you're paired with your camera guy. It's like a whole thing.
The camera guy has to fish though. You just wear like
Well, that's the thing.
chassis.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just
that would
'cause-
be amazing.
Yeah,
we could have
Brandon
all
and
kinds
Kyle,
of camera guy
absolutely.
contests. We
Yeah.
have fights.
Uh-huh.
Fights.
everything
Yeah,
races.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or we could do a little role reversal where like the fans, you know, score us. Where you film Jesse fishing, I film Charles fishing, and like
That's a
have a
lot
little
of work.
scoring. It is a lot of work, but I think it could be fun. You know, Brandon films Kyle fishing, and you know, it's kind of a point system.
Yeah, we've got to get a little group of camera guys
Yeah.
on the elites.
Yeah,
There's got to be
Get
a little
down.
competitive
Yeah.
side for them too.
yeah. You just see it across different industries how people are just starting to open up and be a little more personal. The Nelk boys, like they get down with the, you know, just the super chill stuff, and people love watching that kind of thing. And it's
People-
never been done before in fishing. And
People
like
want to see behind the scenes.
they do,
Like
they do.
every video that we
And-
put out.
yeah.
You know, what do y'all want to see? What do
Yeah.
y'all want to see?
Yeah.
And-
behind the scenes. They
Yeah.
don't care about the
Yeah,
fishing.
Well,
the
if
term
you-
behind the scenes is like kind of
Yeah.
played out, but we know everyone knows exactly
If
what
you
you're
think
talking
about it too, especially on the tournament side, Bassmaster does a great job covering the actual tournament.
Yes.
So why recover the tournament?
Yes.
Show them what the
Exactly.
people
Yes.
can't see.
Yes.
You know, what they wish they could be a part of. Because a lot of you guys are living the dreams of people who they want to do what y'all do, but they've got the responsibilities. Life happens. They never qualified. So then they still want to know what it's like. They want
Oh,
to
yeah.
feel it.
They want to see the failure and the success
Yeah.
too. You know?
I'll bet you there are more people watching this, or or watch the Elite Series that would rather crack a bush light with you and hang out on a lawn chair than go fishing with you on Lay Lake. On Lake, on
100%
On Lay Lake, duh.
1,000,000% on that.
I almost said Lake Fork, but then you were going to say, no, they'd probably go fish Lake Fork with you. But you know what I'm saying. They'd much rather chill and hang out with the boys.
It's been adamant that they want to see more behind the scenes stuff. More, like,
that's the jam.
we want to see the hook sets and talk about what you did, but we don't want to see you fish for 10 minutes before you catch one. You know, like we could watch, like you said, we've already watched that. So that's what we're pushing with our deal.
That's
Jesse's
cool.
good.
That's
smart.
a good direction.
It's cool to hear that you're involved too, because I think that's there's some guys out there who are just wasting their money right now because they're not involved to that level of
aimlessly.
You're like thinking about what people want to watch. You're thinking about the end user, and I think a lot of people don't. You know, like what's the point of putting content out if you're not thinking about the person who's going to watch it?
Right.
You know, like our job is to, at the end of the day, entertain them. You know,
and we don't have all the answers.
No,
we don't have
at
all
all.
the answers.
No.
But
we try to care. You know, like.
Yeah, no, we stay on top of it. Me and Jesse just had a lunch meeting, and we go over what we did that week, what he's expected to do. You know, when he goes.
So he
home.
travels with? Is he travel?
He's
live with you?
from Canada. He's from Ottawa.
Is it the short stocky dude?
No,
darker skin.
He's
no.
skinny.
Oh.
He's skinny.
You're thinking about the Johnston.
Is that Chris's guy?
Yeah. That's Chris and Corey's guy. Which he was.
So they've got a guy now too. Then.
Or they did.
They did. I don't know if they do now or not.
They couldn't.
I hadn't been around them any this year. I don't even.
Oh,
know.
really?
Yeah, we've all been separate this year.
Oh, was that
not just
just
how it's
happened.
worked
Oh,
out?
okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it just
yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
We
Good
took
terms.
on Logan Latuso this year, rookie,
Yeah.
with me and Caleb, so we've been more secluded
Nice.
because we
Southern boys. Yeah.
added him and Jesse, obviously, so we've been having to stay different.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To find places that'll fit
Yeah.
everyone would be next to near impossible.
Yep. So no, it's been good.
been working out,
Jesse's the bomb.
That's awesome.
And does Caleb get in on some of the filming and stuff too, or just
They do interviews. I watched some of it. It's good.
yeah.
No, we do sit downs.
They
Yeah,
use
yeah.
Whiskey Meyer music. I'm like, yes.
No, we.
Tonight I'll watch more of it. I haven't seen.
No,
much
it's
of it,
good.
Yeah.
I'm
No, you remember you might not even watch it. It was a Netflix show called Last Chance You Was a Football.
no.
Nobody.
No.
He did.
Yeah,
So
yeah, Charles did.
it was like Last Chance You was like all the
Oh yeah.
high
I do.
potential football players that had bad grades or got in trouble and they go to junior colleges.
Trying to make it.
So these are actors acting this, or is
No,
it a
no,
documentary?
no.
This is
Oh,
documentary.
nice,
Like
nice.
JUCO
It's of
boys,
like
yeah.
JUCO boys that
Yeah.
are big time ballers, but they've either been in trouble, had bad grades,
Oh, nice.
or just didn't make it and they wanted to.
And they
There's a
follow them
documentary
around.
of it.
Oh, sick.
But anyways,
Same
they had a lot of. We're kind of basing the sit down interviews off of that. They'd always have a sit down interview of some kid that
good.
just did good or got in a fight or whatever. So we started a lot of our videos off a little single sit down
It's
interviews.
good to have a consistent baseline like
We
that.
talk
Template.
about,
Yeah.
you know, Logan, what do you think about this week? Lee, what do you and then
Yeah.
we'll do the same thing after the event. You know, how'd your week go? Obviously, I'm like, man, the week sucked this
Yeah.
week, and Caleb's going to be like, I made the move yesterday, and got paid.
So did you sell it to your sponsors? Did you say this is what I want to do? This is what it's going to cost me. Will y'all step in, or did you?
We talked about that before. I said I want to come out with X amount of videos about right now half the year, and we have written a proposal. We have a written proposal. I wanted to get the content out there. I wanted them to see
Yep.
it.
Just show
Yep.
it,
I
fill
wanted,
it.
Yep.
I wanted to fill everything
Build it
out
first,
Right.
before we
sure.
did it and let them. And they've been calling.
Yep.
A couple of them have already called, and we're about to start.
Yeah, how can I be more a part of that?
Yeah, and we're going to sell that separate than everything else.
Good.
You're
You're building the product.
side.
You're building the
Smart.
product. Yeah.
So that's where
good.
we're at.
Very
Very
cool.
cool.
In the
man.
future, nothing crazy, but
Sure.
there'll be some stuff added with it.
That is so much more than the competition, right? I mean, there's only 8, 9 guys who've got.
And it's at this point, a lot of people have a lot of content, like a lot of GoPro videos and stuff. But like, actually, what's cool, what I'm hearing from you right now is that you're actually like caring. It's quality, and that's what I think we don't give the fishing community enough quality. We don't give them the respect that they deserve. I feel like I feel like a lot of people cut corners in the industry when we could give them a little more. I know that sounds weird, but that's truly how I feel.
Do you consume a lot of fishing YouTube videos, or who do you watch the most? Or what do you enjoy watching?
Before the elites, I did. It's
Yeah,
weird.
I know.
don't get to
I
watch
You don't
know.
have
I
that
hear
time,
you.
huh?
I hear
Like
you.
I don't even get to watch the
Yeah.
elite shows. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I loved watching Pollinix. Obviously,
Yeah.
he was like
Yeah.
the first one
Yeah,
into
yeah.
it. Scott
Slow-
Martin has a great show. y'all guys have been killing it.
I think Scott's got. I think he's the goat.
He just puts out so much, you know.
I don't know how he does it, bro. I don't, dude. He balances.
Oh,
I know how he
it's
does
insane.
it. It's Roland Martin's son.
Yeah.
Think about that. Like, he grew up in front of a camera. He's great at talking. He's great at telling you what's going on that day. He builds suspense. He creates storylines, and he delivers it now. His team works so good, and he catches them every now and then, you know. But he's and it shows.
I'm just thinking
he's got
about
half
his
a million
age
followers.
and the amount of energy it
Absolutely.
takes to like. That's what blows my
Absolutely.
mind.
Never
like
stops.
yeah, dude, he's got to
I
have
think
some
he's the goat.
Adderall
Yeah,
help or something.
Brandon crushes it. The hero shots, like they invented the hero shot, bass fishing hero
Yeah.
shot.
I enjoy Milliken stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. My buddy Ben from Texas.
Yep, and that's more of a straightforward vloggy, and he crushes them too. I mean, he catches
Dude,
them all
he
over.
videoed 90% of his stuff.
Yeah, and he's been winning
with his
it.
iPhone or not with his iPhone, but edited it on GoPro editor on his phone.
Still does.
Jeez.
A lot of it he did back in the day.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Just
now
to get it
he's
done.
got coal, but I'm just saying.
But
he had a 500,000 followers.
yeah,
Editing stuff on his phone is what I'm getting at, and he's grown into the monster he is now. That
why do you think
is bigger than anybody in the industry.
Yeah,
almost.
why do you think? You know, how did he grow like that? Is it the frequency that he posts, or is it the actual content that he's posting?
Well, there's a yes. There
Both, probably.
both,
mixture.
But where he's and it's when you're the first one in, you're the first one
Yeah.
in.
Right.
That's a big thing. A lot of people came
Yes, you
in
can't compete
before
with
there
that.
was
Yeah.
no other person, and now
Lake
we're
Fork guys,
Yeah.
those guys like
Yeah,
that
the
were the
Googans,
first
yeah.
ones, the Googan guys
Yep.
to do it. Just
Yep.
like Ben, he was the first one that was.
Yep.
He was from Nebraska,
Yep.
catching catfish and carp out of a spillway with a can of worms
Yeah,
and
yeah.
strapping GoPros on catfish
Yep.
and letting them go.
Working
and
hard. That's working
fishing
hard.
off the bank
Yeah.
and catching.
But you had all the eyes. at
doing
that
the
point,
stuff that
right?
I like to do.
Yep.
You know, that's where I'm from. I'm not a bass fisherman. I like to fish, but you know, you get so many people that just like me and Ben talk about this. He's like, he'll go and catch whatever it is, 5-10 pound bass and put it on a video, and then he'll have a video of him catching a catfish out of a sewer drain in Houston on a hot dog,
Yeah.
and that one will get 5 million views.
Yep.
Because people
And that one
identify.
will get 5. Not saying
Yep.
that, but it's like that. I'm
No.
like, do what the hell? And he's
We've
like,
Yeah.
got a niche market in bass fishing, and if you think about like the whole the world, they don't
yeah.
necessarily identify with our niche market.
Isn't that crazy?
yeah.
Like, just think, like, you spent 5 years on the Elite Series. What if you spent 5 years filming every other day, you know, with a Jesse or with a whoever,
Just
like
doing
how,
whatever,
you know, how big
fishing.
and what kind of income you could create on YouTube. And I have no clue what those guys make on YouTube. We're not there yet. We don't know, but it's just crazy when you put forth the effort. And I'm sure you would have crushed it on YouTube 5 years ago, you know, but it's just so crazy to think about how those guys, like Milliken and you know, that group of, that era of anglers who just literally caught fish in front of a camera and threw it on the interweb.
Killed it.
It's just insane.
Oh, they're making it.
Like, just like a short 5 years ago, you just Google search, you know, bass fishing videos, and any of those guys you just mentioned would pop up. None of us would.
It was only those
It's
guys.
crazy,
Yeah.
dude. Insane. And it'd be like, and like the worm he rigged is like crooked. I'm like, I'd never rig it like that. You know what I'm? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so crazy. It's just a trip to think about. And then now think about 5 years from now or 10 years from now, like where is fishing media going to be? It's like so crazy.
You got to have it all. I
You
mean,
got to have it all.
I mean, it's
Diversification. It's just like investing. You know,
Yeah.
you got to hit a little bit of each market so that you're safe.
Yep.
Whichever way this industry goes.
That's where eventually on my stuff, I'm going to be filming that side of it too.
Yeah.
You know, me running the stuff that I do.
Yeah,
You
good.
know, I run trout lines and limb lines and
Yeah.
noodle
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
crappie fish. And,
Yeah.
you know, when I'm home, I don't bass fish that much. you
I
know.
want the viewers to comment down below right now what you guys want, because we live like 3 hours from each other, and heck, we could meet up in the middle somewhere in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Me and you could go to Lake Fork and have
Absolutely.
a big swim bait beat down.
Yes.
And it would be huge.
Yeah.
But then there's a whole nother niche out there. that
Yeah.
That's bigger.
Me and you could be in a John boat drinking Bush Light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to Whiskey Myers with
Yeah.
our dogs in the boat.
Yes,
Running trout
dude.
lines, catching catfish.
Yeah.
That big.
That'd be awesome. We
And
need to
it
do both
blows
of
up,
those
You know what I
things.
mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there's two sides
Yeah.
of it.
That's awesome.
More
for
people
sure.
do the second side. than
Oh,
the first, you know?
absolutely. Absolutely. I like that. You guys need to comment down below and let us know what you guys want to see in the Dallas Fort Worth area with me and this dude. And then what about like so the Whiskey Myers guys? I mean, I didn't know who Whiskey Myers was, prior to you, but I guess they grew up.
He
in
likes
Longview?
to act like he's a Texan, and then he says stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Whoops.
Yeah.
so
Whoops.
embarrassing.
Sorry.
So embarrassing. Like,
So those guys are like touring like full time nowadays. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
They're-
man.
Yeah,
They're
crushing it worldwide.
huge.
Like,
This is their 16th year tour.
holy cow!
Yeah.
Wow.
I just saw them make that post yesterday.
That's
16th year on
crazy.
tour.
makes me
And-
feel old.
You guys grew up together, or what?
Crazy. No, they were kind of in that traveling in a van, 8
Yeah, yeah,
deep,
yeah.
Making it happen.
$800,000 a night a gig, whatever it was.
Right.
And my buddy David Reynolds, who owns Hank's in McKinney,
Yeah.
a bar up in McKinney, I'd go up there and hang out with him and
Live
party.
music. Yeah.
And he would have them on, as much as he could,
Uh-huh.
4 or 5, whatever, many times a year it was. And that's where I met him, just through David. They all fish. And
Okay, so it was
me,
fishing
Me
that
and
connect-
Cody kicked it off, one night up there and was like, let's go to Fork. Just before I was even guiding. Just let's go fishing and went fun.
Were you
fishing
like
and-
starstruck? Like, oh my gosh, it's Whiskey Myers.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
They weren't that big back then.
But
mean,
still, they were big for red
They
dirt.
were jamming. It was
Yeah.
red dirt. Exactly.
Yes.
Just like
So you were
Casey-
pumped to take
that
them out.
Casey
before.
Donahue
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was that
Yeah.
little niche.
Yeah.
So I was like, hell yeah! And we went out and smashed on Fork and have been friends.
Buddies
ever
for life.
since.
Oh, that's cool. So I always wondered about that every time you post with them and everything. And
Dude, they're gonna have Randy Rogers at Sabine.
Really?
Yeah, playing a concert.
who's that?
He plays cowboy. Dude, you're a drugstore cowboy.
You joking?
I don't know who's
Oh.
Randy Rogers.
You
I
should
am.
know.
I'm not
You know.
joking. Too.
You know.
I thought he was joking. For
you know
sure.
they're- Yeah.
You know,
no.
Charles, you're laughing. You don't know who
Oh,
Randy
man.
Rogers is, do
Are
you?
you kidding me? He's from Longview.
Oh,
Oh, I guarantee
he went
does.
to Tech.
no.
He's been
Dang
to
it.
Rio before.
Whoops.
Yeah.
I gotta brush
So
up on-
we've tried to get Whiskey Myers to play at multiple elite events. Like they want to play.
Dude, get him to play at the Classic, dude.
Well,
We're gonna do a party, right?
we've tried multiple.
yeah.
We tried to get them at Lacrosse.
They
We
probably
tried to get
go-
them at Murray. It's just scheduling.
It's tough.
Schedule.
when they're
Right.
off, one of the band members
Is
has
doing something.
a vacation that
Of
they've been
course.
planned for 4
Of
years or
course,
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So we've been talking with Eric Lopez and Eddie, their manager, and Chris too, trying to.
Is Eddie pretty cool, or is he like down to
Super cool.
business? Is,
So
he,
they
is he
have-
gonna like hit us with a, or not us, but is he
No,
gonna,
like Eddie, their actual manager in Austin, he hit me up. He was the one that approached me. He's
Oh,
like, hey,
nice.
man, we want to play at an event.
Yeah.
Bridge
it's
that gap.
perfect. That
We want to get
demographic.
involved,
Nice.
because Cody has Toad Thumpers and he's getting involved in the fishing.
Yeah, he's got a
industry,
bait
too.
company.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the
Yeah, he's
lead
got a bait
singer.
company. He's been
Oh,
at
cool.
the last couple of classics with the booth and everything.
I see. Yeah.
But so Eddie came to me, and about that same time, Eric Lopez came to me with Lacrosse one, and I just merged everybody.
Yeah.
And that's when Davey Height wanted him to play at Murray, obviously. it will make it work, whether it's at a classic or
Nice, dude.
or at a regular event sometime in the future. So y'all get ready for that.
Very
That'd be
cool, bro.
That'd be
Real
cool.
cool.
Excellent.
Yeah, they're cool.
You're a good little fishing spokesman for those people, because that, like I said, I didn't know who they were, and like,
He's not
Yeah.
a big red dirt like. When he listens to country, it's like that crap you hear on mainstream.
Oh no.
Yeah, he does listen to a little George Strait, like the older stuff, a little bit, but he's into like that super sappy stuff that all has the same tune. Yeah, trust
I'm
me.
gonna have to get you a
Oof.
mix CD to put
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
CD player.
yeah, give me a mixtape,
He,
definitely.
he does. He loves some Ryan Bingham, and
Okay.
he
Yeah,
did
he's
come on.
legit.
He,
Good step.
he
Yeah.
came on board before the Yellowstone thing, so he's not just a bandwagoner.
Yeah.
I'll give him
If
that.
you're on Bingham, you're good.
Yeah.
With everything.
And then who do we
else,
see on New Year's with Rob?
Parker McCollum.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
Parker's legit. Yeah.
Yeah, he played at the Fort Worth arena 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Co Wetzel Koozie.
Yeah,
You got it all going on.
I'm a big Co person. So he listens to a little Co with me.
I've seen Co on a couple boats lately. We started
Yeah.
a little
Oh, really?
trend. I've seen Turnpike Troubadours on a couple boats.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And I've seen Co on a couple
I mean, you
boats.
And then
can't
who did the
be really
Johnsons-
country and not fish. Like that's
yeah.
how you know if they're faking it.
Chris and Corey go with. Who do they go out with? And Kevin,
He's a little
Luke.
mainstream.
Luke.
Luke's
That's
cool.
right. Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
country,
cool.
but he's
Yeah.
Yeah.
mainstream. But
Well,
I don't blame it on him.
Did
Luke,
you?
no,
You've been
Luke's
out
very
with-
cool.
Yeah,
and
is
he's
he?
like, man, that pays the bills. But
Yeah,
likes,
but
he
he's
likes
still
whiskey
country.
He gets
Myers and
down.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
yeah.
no kidding.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like you can tell he's actually country, but he does. He knows what. And
No,
that's
Luke's crazy.
yeah.
He's wild.
Is he really?
Oh yeah.
He's got a family and stuff now, but he still gets down. I'm sure.
No, he's cool,
He's like a
dude.
rock star.
Yeah.
He does like, what does he do? Like one of those judging singing shows as well.
Yeah.
American
American
Idol.
Idol.
American Idol. Yeah,
He's got
that's
some
big
good
time.
ponds.
That's big time.
His lakes are good.
Yeah.
In Texas? No.
No,
No,
he's
they're
like Georgia or
Tennessee.
something.
Tennessee.
Tennessee, Franklin.
And then Luke Combs also fishes, right? Or no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he fishes.
I seen him at Rayburn one time at one of those events, at Brian Robinson event. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know Luke Combs at all.
Yeah.
I've fished at Luke's place, and Carrie Underwood's got a big pond too.
Really?
A bunch of donks. Females
You
only.
fished it?
Yeah, they
What?
stocked it with female only.
That's
Gussie.
kind of
Carrie,
cool.
At Carrie and Mike's Lake, not at
Yeah,
not at
Gussie's
Luke's.
got it in with Mike Fisher,
Yeah,
right?
that's who I
Ex-NHL
stayed
player.
at Mike's
Yeah.
house and fished when COVID
Wow.
hit, and we went to Luke's place with Luke and fished up there a couple days.
That's
This is
cool.
Luke Bryant, if you guys didn't
Yeah.
know.
No,
Wow.
They got it going on. It's cool.
That's amazing.
Weird how they build their lakes.
You don't get nervous approaching those, like that type of guy?
They're just
No.
a normal,
Just
They
just
probably
normal
get
dude.
nervous
Like
approaching
meeting
you.
you, you
Yeah.
just a normal dude.
That's awesome.
Especially when it's just about fishing.
But yeah, I did a little bit.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll have like like the ultimate would be a classic and well, actually, you know what? A classic in Nashville would be pretty cool too. But do they even have a fishery there?
It's a bunch of little rivers and stuff.
Yeah.
Tim's Ford, I think.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
close.
yeah.
I'll bet you in the next 5 years they're gonna have another classic in Fort Worth. I can almost guarantee it.
I can
Because
get-
like if you think about logistically,
They're going to do it in 2 years.
I think Christy told me that, okay, so everyone think about, like, for a classic and Eric Lopez's job is to, it's got to be a decent fishery. Actually, that's probably the last thing on the list of things they need, but...
It's a 90-mile radius, has to have the arena, and has to have an expo place.
Yep.
And
Christy said there's 8 of them in the country right now.
yeah, and you got to think about it. You really need airports that can everybody.
Fans.
You got to
Yep.
think about. You got Japanese.
Yep.
Like you got people coming in from everywhere. It's not the easiest thing to pull off, but
So we need to build a convention center at Lake Murray.
Murray.
Yeah.
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 That place was legit.
Yeah.
That
That could
you
be a
got
good one.
Columbia. They've got the school and everything there.
They don't have a convention center.
They don't?
We talked
Yeah, that's
about,
what they
me,
said,
Me and
yeah.
Mercer talked about
Yeah.
it today. He's like, they don't
Yep.
have one.
no
We gotta put
expo
'em in. Yep.
facility.
That's all they need.
Wow. Gaddis, if you're
Shouldn't be
listening,
too hard to build. I mean,
Yeah.
a convention center is just a big empty building.
they've got that big association now there. So to me, they would all pull together all those companies out there and make it happen. Lobby for it.
Or we can just put them all on Ray Roberts and PK.
Yeah. Yeah.
PK.
Dude.
No more Ray
Bro.
Roberts. PK.
PK.
Oh, you did win Ray Roberts.
PK.
I'll take a couple on Ray Roberts.
Yeah.
too.
PK.
As long as they're in March.
Dude, PK,
April,
everyone, all the
March.
Texas
Yeah, you don't want it
listeners,
earlier.
all the
Yeah.
Texas listeners will know. But like, if you had on Possum
That's
Kingdom,
my vote, PK.
Fort Worth is right there. I mean, everyone loved Dickey's Arena except for the vendors who were outside in the pig stock or whatever it was.
That was just because it was hot.
correct. But PK would show up. Everyone would have 18 pounds in March. Everyone would
Dude,
have
we
at
could
least
have
18 pounds.
Whiskey Myers at Billy Bob's.
Oh,
Oh,
perfect.
we could make that one sick.
Uh-huh.
There'd be some cool stuff.
That's the way it
Being
needs
thrown,
to
too.
be. Yeah.
But, I mean, we got Tulsa next year.
COVID really screwed up the first Fort Worth Classic. It would have Ray Roberts would have been just fine that time of year.
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
Oh, yeah. We
It's
smashed
just
them. They're 90 pounds.
just COVID.
Could have.
Yeah. So
Are you currently in the classic right now? If we talked early,
Yeah.
yeah. We got Sabine River, which you
know
did
that
well.
place,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
June, we're there in June, so it's gonna be a little different, more current related. I would assume.
Looking
You made
forward to
that gnarly, you made that gnarly run last year, one day, didn't you?
Yeah, just
you
one
and
day,
Jake.
though.
Yeah.
It wasn't right.
Yeah.
It'll be good this time.
Yeah. The fish will be biting a lot more, I guarantee you.
Yeah, the Sabine's fun.
Yeah.
They're small, but it's fun.
No, it's
I love the-
patternable. Yeah.
I love the people. I think
Oh,
that's
they
one.
put on a show.
People talk so much crap about it, and I'm like, dude, like these people are awesome.
It's the biggest event we have each year,
Yeah.
besides the classic.
They're so
True.
appreciative. Like, y'all still are catching fish.
Yep.
They're just not like sixes, but
Yeah, we could
you
bitch and
know.
moan all we want, but there's always going to be a leader. There's always going to be a guy at
Yeah.
the bottom.
I like those like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the Three Rivers Classic.
Yes.
Just insane.
That was the coolest classic ever.
I like those.
I was
like
at that
tight.
one. Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah. As a fan. Yeah.
No, I like
watched
those
Kevin win.
tight weight ones like that as a
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
Dude, I got a question. I don't know. So we have this thing. If you don't, after I go here, if you don't want to talk about it, then we can cut it out. The people won't even know. And it's happened before. We've had people on who it never cease.
We've
But-
nuked full on Bilge podcast.
Yeah, we've nuked a 3-hour podcast. Person called the next morning, was like, I don't think that needs to go on, and we
Uh-oh.
toasted it.
Oh yeah, a lot of bleeps.
A lot of bleeps. One of my favorite things about you, and I don't know the whole story, but you had a little hiccup your rookie season. And look, if this is not professional, we don't have to put it. But when you returned the boat, can you talk about that or no? You can tell me the truth.
At Skeeter?
Yeah, I thought this was because look, you're sponsored by a beer company, and I was like, I remember being like touche, and even the person who told me he was involved in it was like, dude, it's actually kind of funny.
So yeah, not a lot of people know that story.
I think this is like the greatest thing. It's not the greatest thing ever, but I'm just like, God, he's got a set of balls on him.
So, or just really stupid, whichever way you want to look at it, and ignorant. So I ran a Skeeter my rookie year on the Elite Series. Obviously, it's like 10 minutes from my back door. It's in Kilgore, Texas. That's where I graduated high school from.
You would be like the face of Skeeter.
I drove by Skeeter every day growing up. It's right there. So Skeeter, we made the deal when I made the Elites, got in a Skeeter. Heck yeah, I running a Skeeter in my backyard and went out there and top 10 the first event on the St. Johns River and was in the top 10 or right in it at Lanier.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And about halfway through that event, Skeeter called me. I was like, hey, man, we got a problem. And I was like, what's going on? And they were like, we have a no alcohol tobacco policy in your contract.
Oh, I forgot about this. I didn't know where you're going with that.
And you have Michelob Ultra, halfway down your boat. And
I forgot about that.
Obviously, it was a problem.
Yeah.
And they were like,
how do we rectify this?
yeah, put tape over it, or we, obviously I wasn't going to do that because they were paying me and Skeeter wasn't.
Sure.
So, anyways, went through some stuff, came back home, and brought I switched boat companies. I got back into Phoenix.
Yeah.
So we didn't have any problems with Skeeter to get out of that conversation nicely without saying anything else.
Yeah.
And love Skeeter Yamaha.
Yeah.
Not a problem there. It was just a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
How it went down, and it was just
course, after the
business.
second
It
tournament,
was rolling business.
Yeah.
So when I brought the boat back, me and my buddy drank about 50 Michelob Ultras and filled the live wells up with all Michelob Ultra cans.
When they told me
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
So Joanne's like, hey, all you got to do is come by here and drop the boat off, and that's it. Because I'm pissed, obviously.
Yeah.
They're
It's
pissed
Of course,
at me.
after
I'm pissed at them.
Of course.
Both
You're a
sides are
rookie
pissed.
too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man. So filled it up with empty Michelob Ultra cans.
That's awesome.
So when I
In
dropped
the
it,
live well?
filled it up. So I drive up, and I'm thinking nobody's going to be there. I'm just going to drop this boat off. I pull up and park, and I call Joanne or whoever it was. I don't even know if it was Joanne. Had to call somebody, and 20 people walk out of Skeeter, and I'm like, oh shit, So here they come, and I'm unhooking it, and they're walking around looking making sure I didn't tear it up.
Yeah.
And they get in the boat and they start
They opened it up.
They start opening up rod lockers, making sure.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't leave anything in there or whatever. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, here it comes.
So embarrassed.
That's a good story,
They
dude.
open up everything, whatever guy was doing it, and I was like,
Here it comes, yeah.
and he got to the live well and didn't open the live well.
Oh my gosh,
So
I didn't know that
All right,
story.
See y'all guys later. Peace out. But obviously they found it.
I remember when
Dude, that's
she told me the
legit.
story, I was like, touche.
That is
When she
awesome.
laughed.
Oh, I know they opened it.
That's a good one.
Son of a bitch.
That is awesome. That is a great
So
one.
looking back, would you ever do that again? Or was that like a rookie, like just upset in the moment, didn't quite think it through?
I wouldn't answer that because that's still 50-50.
Yeah, right.
I'm
No,
still
right.
Just a little stupid.
Just think about
sure.
that. I mean, that's kind of a miscommunication on their part.
I'm pretty I might go there too, so I can't.
That's
I was like,
awesome.
touche, man.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I talked to Joanne about it last year.
Of course, yeah, that is
She
legit,
laughed.
dude.
She drinks Ultra.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Joanne's cool. She's really cool. Yeah, when we left, we were with Skeeter 11 years. When we left, I mean, all was good with her. She could take a joke like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a funny little petty joke, dude. I like that.
I think it's
That's a major inconvenience, though.
Oh, it was bigger than.
So on tournament number 3, you were back in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What were you thinking, because you were fresh on the Elite Series, a couple of months in at that point.
That was when y'all did.
how
2
do you,
weeks in.
Yeah.
First 2 weeks back to back.
How do you even process that? Keep the
Oh, just
train on the tracks.
Yeah, because you got to get it rewrapped.
Yeah.
Get it re-rigged.
Dang.
All my stuff insured. Obviously buy it.
Yeah.
And Skeeter's
everything.
Yamaha too. It's a lot.
It wasn't a Skeeter problem. It was a Yamaha
Right.
contract.
Yeah.
So I will say that for Skeeter.
You know, we're pretty fortunate to have the boat deals. I mean, we have like, you know, as a professional fisherman, it's kind of weird that like, I mean, it's nice to have a brand new boat every year, depending on what deal you have, what brand you go with, and things like that. Like, I almost think like we should run boats like get a new boat every 2 years, but that's not the way the industry works. That's not how professional bass fishing works. Is it like an inconvenience to you? And I know you've been with, you know, Phoenix, Skeeter,
Ballistic.
Phoenix, Ballistic, right? Yeah, you ran Ballistic what 3 years, 4 years? You basically put them on the map.
3 years.
Yeah, you put them on the map. Are they going to continue to build boats that you know of and moving forward?
As far as I know, they will.
They are,
I have
yeah.
no idea. I hadn't
Yeah.
talked to Jim, but
Jim's the owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have a big distribution network in Texas?
Have you
or
seen any
anywhere?
outside of
No.
like Lee and Seth? And, huh.
But-
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
I remember seeing them at
Yeah.
a U.S. Open one time, and
Yeah.
they look like they're well-built
So-
boats,
Oh,
but
yeah,
like
they making an amazing.
they look
boat.
like a
I'll
like
give
a
'em that.
like a bass cat, like a custom
Are
bass
they,
cat style boat.
Are they stable?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cross between a Bullet and a Phoenix, is what
Yeah.
I would call
Yeah.
it. Honestly.
I always enjoy Jake. I know Jake Latendrous and you are good buddies. I always like his selfies. You know, he's got the big giant camera on his shoulder or whatever, and you're ripping 70 miles an hour plus, whether it's down the Sabine or down Fork, whatever. Yeah, Jake's legit. And he shows. Yeah.
So you know started. Obviously, you ran other boats before the elites, but so you went Skeeter, then Phoenix, then Ballistic. Now back in a Phoenix. Obviously, you don't have like a true Phoenix still right now, so you're weighing your options. So, like, what have you learned the last few years that you're taking into consideration as you navigate? Okay, where do I go next? How do I handle this?
I mean, honestly, I kind of got screwed on both deals.
Really?
And I don't want to say that, but
No,
I really did.
Yeah.
I wanted to get in a Skeeter and Yamaha
Yeah.
And
as
stay
a
there.
family deal, stay
Yeah.
there forever,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
see.
You're from there.
These guys
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Ballistic, and y'all kind of introduced me to him somewhat.
Yeah.
And I was like, heck yeah, I'm starting on the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm the guy starting with him.
Ground
Let's
up, yeah.
grow
Let's
with this
grow
company.
this.
Ride or die,
And
yeah.
then what happened this year with Jim happened.
Yeah.
And I mean, I want to get with the company and stay with them for,
Where I was
So
trying
which-
to go with
20,
that.
with 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to jump. It's not like I jumped out of it because
Yeah,
I didn't
you
like
didn't-
it. Or
you didn't choose
did
that.
where,
this because
where I was
didn't
trying to
like
go
it.
with that earlier is it's like a boat is a must-have item, right? I mean, you have to have it. It's almost like, okay, we're all not desperate, but it's like a necessity. We need
Yeah.
the boat to
You
run.
can-
Obviously,
You can piece together rods and rails, but
Yeah.
dude, that boat, and you're looking
it's a
at
very tricky thing.
You're-
Like
Oh, yeah.
it's a very tricky
and you're
deal.
looking
like
at
boat
Matt
deals.
Robertson right now breaking down 24/7,
Yeah.
and whatever anyone thinks about Matt, my heart breaks for the fact that you're an elite competitor
Mm-hmm.
and you don't even know if your boat's going to start and get you where you got to go. That's
Yeah.
That's like saying a baseball player with a bat, they don't know if they're,
Yeah.
or whatever, like that is like
Boat deals are tricky.
to start
man.
your season
Yeah.
and you not have a boat, like I can't, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Before we go further, one, can I get another one of these? And two, can you make sure our dogs aren't dead?
Yeah, I've got a.
Take a little pause.
No, pause always kills it. You
No.
talk about something.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Our dogs are in the truck because if we left them in here, they would just be causing
I was wondering where they were.
Yeah, we leave them in the truck. On the boat thing, so where I was going was just like, so you can go with a super established company at this point? Like where?
So I've obviously been talking to companies since
Yeah.
this happened, and a lot of them reached out.
I'm sure when it went when
Four
it
or
went
five
down.
companies reached out when it happened. I'm talking about the next day. As soon as it spread like wildfire. And thank you to all of them, all those companies.
Right.
They've been super nice to me. I owned multiple Phoenixes before. I
Sure.
fished the elites. That's what I was guiding out of, and they've been super helpful. But like I said, I'm looking for a company to get with and stay with for
Forever.
however long I fish.
Right.
Whether it's 10 years or 30 years or whatever. That's the deal. I'm not jumping ship. I want somebody to stay with me and make it comfortable on both ends. money wise.
So,
to roll.
but like thinking about that, like are you hesitant to go with a newer company or hesitant to go with an established company that has a bunch of rules? Like, because you've seen both sides.
That's what I'm still weighing.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of like brand new companies out there besides
we just talked about Icon. Yeah.
Icon's a new one. I don't know.
I guess Vexus is kind of new.
Vexus, you know.
But there's established
Vexus,
people,
yeah.
you know. It's
everybody that's reached out to me that I've talked to has
been around a little bit.
Been around bigger companies for sure. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Obviously, I have to pick out it's this business. I got to go with.
Yeah, what makes sense?
What's gonna make me the most money in my professional career for my family.
Yeah.
You know, that's comfortable.
I want to see you in a Go Fast Triton, dude. I feel like you would crush it in a Go Fast Triton, just ripping.
I had a TR20X. I love that boat.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's a fast boat.
Badass.
Yeah.
His first boat was a Triton.
Yeah.
He
it
won
was
it.
X Series hull as well. Yeah,
I love my
19X.
Triton.
Yeah.
I wish I still had that
rip
boat.
in that thing. Yeah.
He
that's
delaminated his.
awesome. I did. Yeah. Lake Mead, 4-footers, 5-footers, skipping like a
and
rock.
they said it was the story I heard was he was a really bad driver, and they wouldn't warranty.
Probably
it.
was. Yeah, all I cared about
they
was the
total
next
it?
cast. Yeah, it was total.
So Davey told me, you'll see. We have, like I told you about the YouTube Lake Murray when it's gonna be long because all the stories. But Davey tells a story like back.
He was a Triton guy for a long time.
This was way before that. Gosh, what was it? It was like a Javelin or
oh
something.
wow, yeah, that's
and that might be wrong. Hydrosport Javelin.
Right.
He was an 18-footer with a 150, and he drove from inside the river. They were at the St. Lawrence. All the way to Henderson Bay when it was blowing like 25. Like
and that little thing.
Like we're scared of now. It's the best story.
And like an 18-footer.
Well, it was an 18-footer with a 150. He destroyed it. Like when he barely got back. It broke the top cap and the bottom cap apart. And they totaled the boat.
That's
for him to get second place in the tournament. It's a really good story, though.
Gosh.
The rub rail comes out and wraps around his co-angler's neck while they're driving.
Oh my gosh.
The dude thinks it's a snake.
It just gets better and better.
That's
legit, dude.
You'll see the rest of the
We'll have
story.
to have him. Yeah,
It's a good story.
We'll watch that. Yeah,
I literally cried when he told the story.
And that's gonna be on your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
All right, we'll watch that, and so will the rest of them.
That's awesome.
That is legit, dude. What's the most damage you've ever done to a boat besides beer cans and a live well?
So I destroyed a boat.
Nice.
Not destroyed it, but when I was young and dumb.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Driving at the Sabine, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For a tournament?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A bass champs or
champ?
It was a
something?
champs
Oh, that's right. They go
championship.
down there. Sure.
Yeah, and it was blowing the wrong direction where I went, and
Yeah.
there was like 8-9 footers out there, and I was too stupid. I kept going
On the Sabine
and
Lake.
going and going and going, and my trolling motor ripped out of the fiberglass onto the deck, strapped it down with a rod strap.
Gosh.
And I was too far in. I had to keep going. I couldn't turn around.
Just go and drift. Cast it.
I was just trying to survive at this
Oh
time.
my god.
The gauges all broke inside the dash.
Fell in it.
Inside the dash, and I had a mounted single graph just mounted in my dash. It hit me in the face.
Oh
like,
my
flew out.
gosh.
This
was the boat we talked about earlier, huh?
We were both wearing snowmobile or motorcycle helmets. And finally, I just stopped after I did it. I'm like, my boat's destroyed.
Trash. Yeah.
So I stopped and I look at Warren. I'm like, what is that? And he had his little mask down. So what is on your face?
Some blood or something?
He flipped it up and there's this blood everywhere.
Wow.
The waves that we were spearing were hitting the helmet and smashing his nose.
Yeah.
And he was bleeding out his nose. Had blood everywhere. That's the worst.
Wow. Did you make an insurance claim on that one or no? No, I guess.
Was there a stringer left?
The boat was all
fine.
still good.
Yeah.
It was the trolling
stuff
motor,
around it.
the trolling motor, the gauges.
What boat was it?
It was a 921 Pro XP.
It was a Phoenix, yeah.
Wow.
And it was not the boat's fault. That was 100% Lee Livesay's fault.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've been there.
I totaled.
I did it on Lake Erie one time, and I stopped. Like you said, you stopped, and your co had a bloody nose, or your partner. I stopped, and I said, we need to pray.
She
And
literally
I swear,
prayed, dude.
I prayed because I was like, I told my guy, like,
That big.
I screwed up, man. We got 8-footers on Lake Erie, and people think I'm joking. I ain't even joking. I went east, and the wind was supposed to shift, so I thought I would be able to run the troughs back, and it did not shift.
That's
and
scary.
It was a north wind. She was getting hammered.
Not a boat on the water, and I think it was like I forget, 30 miles, and it took me 3 hours and 15 minutes. And yeah, it was one of the biggest mistakes I ever made in my life. I thank the Lord we made it back, but we should have been dead.
Yeah.
I had a bad
That's
prop
no
on
joke,
it
dude.
because I was so broke. And the day before, I told him I need to go to the service yard and buy a new prop, but I didn't really have any money. So I was like, you know what? It'll be fine. And biggest mistake in my life right there.
You can screw up quick on the water.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it.
Yeah.
Many times, yeah, with many different things. Yeah, that's for sure. Well, before we let you go, we had you. Man, it's already 5:30, and we're gonna check the results here in this tournament that's going on too. And gosh, I hate not making the cut and then looking at like standings and just like, oh, so frustrating, dude.
Just seeing the stuff they're doing. is
I
what
know
makes me
that's
sick.
oh,
Yeah, it's right
that's
up your
the
alley for
worst,
sure.
dude. Oh, it's the worst.
Like I talked to Bernie the first day of practice, and I'd swim a jig, like I said, for like
Yep.
6 hours. And
Swam a
nothing.
jig, I like that.
Bernie's like, man, I had a 5.5, eat it. And then 4 hours later, a 1 pounder ate it. That's the only 2 bites I had. And then
Bernie-
he's smashing
In
them.
the
Bernie's
tournament.
having a heck of a year.
Him,
He
him
is,
and Mark,
dude.
both of them
Yep.
killing it.
Yep.
Bernie and Mark Menendez.
Yep.
And I know
I think-
Bernie isn't he on the bubble of like needing to
Of
requalify?
execution, he might
Yeah.
be. He might be.
And he's absolutely sending it. I'm like, Dad, gum.
I
Yeah.
know Menendez kicked my butt last at Santee Cooper. He was
Oh,
right
yeah.
beside me catching them,
Are you serious?
which he caught a lot of them out there on those main trees.
On the
Those
point,
cypress,
yeah,
yeah.
jacks,
I wasn't
yeah.
out there, but I was in the swamp
Right
with him,
there.
and he caught 20 pounds, and I caught 6 or 7, whatever
All
I
your
caught.
fish went out. They probably migrated that day, that week.
I don't know.
That's insane.
I got a question. So you still are working with that distribution group, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys talk business? Sorry, dude, I got lots of questions. Is that what you are laughing at me at?
No.
What do they talk about when it comes to fishing? Because like back in the heyday, we saw Bushlight with Kevin Van Dam, and you see Bushlight go strong in NASCAR, but we haven't really seen them like come back into fishing, in a long time. Do they?
Yeah, because all their
talk to you
money went
about
to
it?
Dylan Mulvaney.
So they're actually making a big push in the outdoor industry.
I've seen the
Nice.
cans
with the
and
cans,
stuff.
and
The
there's
fishing.
there's a lot of outdoor billboard advertising with
Yeah.
Bushlight right now, and just
Sweet.
people catching a bass and just generic
Sure.
bass
Yeah.
fishing. So they actually put a lot of money into it last year and this year.
Yeah,
Sweet.
that's cool. That's
And that's how I got the deal.
right.
They called my distribution center, and they were going to put X amount of money into our region.
Marketing. Yeah.
Is that how those deals work? Like
That's
yeah,
how mine
yours
works.
works. Yeah.
That's
you
what
know.
I've
But
always
you look at
heard.
Micah
that
Frazier-
distribution relationship.
Micah Frazier and Mark Frazier and a Coca-Cola and a Monster boat.
So
I
think
guess
that's
it's similar,
That's
huh?
I had a straight distribution deal with R&K Distribution.
Okay. Yeah.
They just put Ultra on my boat.
Okay,
I
cool,
didn't have a Michelob Ultra contract.
Right.
That was
Okay.
just through R&K, and then Bushlight called R&K in 21 and was like, "Hey,
That's how
we're
those
gonna,
work.
We're going
That's
to
a
put
good
this
deal,
money
yeah.
into billboards and
Right.
whatever." And Mike said, "I got a billboard.
I got a billboard.
for you
Yeah.
right here."
Yeah.
Right.
And
That's smart.
I have a
That's a
Bushlight
good
contract
deal,
with
dude.
them,
That's-
and
yeah.
the distributor matched it.
Yeah.
It was what was huge for me.
That's a good
through
deal.
Mike.
Yeah.
That's how my deal worked.
And-
So I got a Bushlight contract and a R&K.
And he was a client of yours guiding previously.
Or just a
actually,
friendship?
my wife cut his hair and his
Oh,
wife's
nice.
hair, our whole family's hair, and they started guiding with me once I met my wife.
Isn't it interesting
How it
how
all worked.
How it
deals
all
work
work.
like that? Like it's like okay, so
Relationships.
like an iCast for example. Do you enjoy iCast by the way? Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
enjoy? Yeah. Really? You
Oh,
enjoy? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you a story before
Okay.
you even go
Okay,
about
yeah,
how
yeah,
the
yeah.
most random things work out.
This is where I was going to go with that too. I'm sure. Go
At
ahead.
the Classic in 2020, I made the final day.
Yeah.
And you know how the Classic is, it's just
Oh yeah.
grueling.
Constant.
And that was my first Classic to fish, so I had a big group of people there. Mike at R&K, my wife now, and everybody was there. So everybody wants to take you out to eat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And sponsors, and you just that night I was tired,
Oh,
and
yeah.
at Gunnersville it's a pain in the ass to get back from the boatyard
Hour
and
and a
everything.
half, yeah.
So by the time I got back, they were already at a restaurant. They're like, it's like 8:00, and I was like, you know what? And me and Taryn kind of got in a little fight. I was like, I'm not coming out to eat tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
I'm going into
exhausted.
the hotel bar. I'm getting a burger and a beer, and I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Felt like I had a shot to win. I jumped up in the top 10 and
Yep,
everything. But
yep.
anyways,
Yeah.
go to the hotel bars. The last night at the Classic, it's packed. There's not a table open in the little hotel bar at Gunnersville. And there was one table with 3 guys sitting at it, and they had like 2 open seats. So I just walked over there. And I was like, hey, man, do y'all mind if I sit down and eat?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wearing regular clothes. I'm not
Yeah.
in jersey or nothing. They're like, hey, man, you're Livesay. Yeah, hell yeah. You can sit down, drink, ends up being, anyways, get a burger, get a couple beers. I put $100 bill down on the table and walked off. They're like, man, you're not paying for this. Blah, blah, blah. And it ends up being my buddy Dustin, who sponsors me now, Zeus Logistics, and Steve Stockton, who sponsors Chris and Corey with Tulane Brewery.
Tulane, yeah.
That's how.
Oh, wow. Small.
Yeah. Well,
you never know.
And the other one was Drew.
Yeah.
Our CEO at the time's nephew.
Wow.
And that's how the whole Luke Bryan and all this stuff.
How about that?
That's how the sponsorship, my Zeus Logistic deal, came from.
You never know who's who.
Sitting down with somebody, and he ended up being Dustin's from Montgomery, Texas.
Yep.
Just an old redneck country Texas boy.
That's cool.
And we kicked it off, and he's making money off me now the way we got our contract, and I'm making money off him. And you never know who you're going to meet.
Never.
That's exactly
as
right.
random as it is.
That's why I asked about ICAST. Same thing goes with the Classic, but there are more deals struck, I was just going to say at the bar that night, at the karaoke bar, Howl at the Moon, whatever it is in Orlando, Florida.
I don't think I'm allowed back in there.
Yeah,
Same. Unfortunately, same. But this is like 7-8 years ago.
She wrote on the board. She wrote on that whiteboard. Someone is a cheater or something like that.
Guess.
It was a It
Just
was
guess.
I got asked to leave Howl at the Moon 3 nights in a row my rookie year.
Oh,
2 of those were Corey Johnson's fault.
oh my
but
gosh.
One of them was mine.
But you know what I'm saying. Like ICAST,
it's
it's so like I got my jersey tucked in.
It's more about making a relationship and striking a personal chord.
Yep.
And them having seeing something in you that's much bigger than just business,
Yeah,
and it's
you got a
hard.
much better chance at doing that, having a beer with a guy that night than the next morning going and saying, "Hey, do you mind if I
100%.
grab a little bit of your time? Can we go in that room?
You
And can I give you my pitch?"
%.
Yeah.
They just tune completely out. They look you up and down. It's just
But
like
it's because you're using them and they know it.
They know it.
As opposed to just hanging out here
Yeah.
and having a true, genuine
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
Just think about the rookies or people.
That's what I'm
bad
saying.
for 'em.
Dude,
People
that's
that don't have a niche for a hook
Yep.
or a line
Exactly.
or whatever it is.
Exactly.
You know how awkward that is?
Yes.
Some people are good at it,
Yes.
but I'd be like,
Yeah, I know.
walk past
Yep.
the booth unless you introduce me. So
You're much better off having a beer with that guy or offering to pay for his meal, whatever, and then give him a little follow up 2 weeks later or whatever. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you were that guy. Cool. Let's talk some more.
Well, you think about
That's
how
you
many people they see, right?
Yeah.
And so how are you going to stick out from the 100, 200 of people that came through the booth?
Yep.
And what most people don't understand is that ICAST, people are there, companies for sales, which most of the big boxes done, but they're still dealing with independents, and their goal is actually to write orders. It's not to pick their pro stuff out for the next year.
Yeah.
And people just don't understand that. So you coming by their booth, no matter what you think, it ain't getting you anywhere.
Yeah.
So you got to find a way to stick out on a personal level.
You've already got to have that foot in the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just going to happen.
I'm not an
Absolutely.
ICAST person these days, but I have had some times.
Poor Zona. The last couple times he's been there, he's caught COVID every time, and
Yeah.
he's just like, I'm done with it.
I sat in the RV and met people off site last year.
Yeah.
I didn't actually go through the doors.
Yeah,
but,
there's no doubt this landscape of professional bass fishing, like we talked about at the top of the show. I mean, it's just you got to stay on top of it. It's constantly changing. You got to be well-rounded for sure, and you're definitely doing that.
Yeah.
But if you don't have any more questions for him, I'm gonna ask him one
don't.
final question because we've kept him a while now. But we always like to close out. You've been awesome. Like I said, you're definitely a smart dude. You understand the media side. You're a freaking winner, hammer.
You get the bigger
your
picture.
networking is amazing. You hang out with the right dudes, and people are interested in what Lee Livesay's doing, what the Johnsons are doing. The guys you hang out with, Caleb, they're all like personable people, and you're crushing it there. But before we go, what kind of life advice can you give the viewers? I mean, whether it pertains to fishing or just business, personal life, whatever. Give us some advice. I mean, because you were obviously a successful dude. Life advice.
Life advice. I'm not the best person to ask that for sure. Man, everything I've ever been good at in life, I've worked hard,
Yep.
been a good person to the people that I've worked with,
Yep.
and enjoyed it.
Yep.
Whether it's guiding or, dude, I cleaned pools in college.
Wow.
Like, I mean, it had all kinds of jobs,
Yeah.
but just
But you crushed it though.
be good at it.
Yeah, you crushed it.
And I probably was really bad at cleaning pools because I was fishing tournaments. But
That's awesome, man.
just work hard at whatever you're doing in
Well,
life. That's the easiest on my end, man.
I've seen
You're
you-
not going to get anywhere without working hard.
Right.
That's it.
Yep.
I mean,
Whatever it is.
anything in life. That's as simple as that is. That's the best you're gonna get out of me is busting your ass to do whatever you're wanting to be good at.
No matter what it is,
That's
just when
it.
you think things are hard and dude, I'm just gonna stop or I'm gonna take a breather. Like you just gotta push, just keep pushing, just that last little push, man.
Work hard
Get it
and
through.
be a good person.
Yeah.
That one
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It's so easy to be nice to people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
awesome,
And
dude.
they remember it forever.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
And that's why you're the people's champ, dude. We really appreciate you being on, dude. We're
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and let you go, but
Thanks for having me on.
until next
Had
time,
fun.
dude. You absolutely crushed it.
Yeah.
And I know you're gonna
Thanks.
be holding up more trouble. That was an
Awkward.
awkward one. I like that.
Well,
Can
I
we zoom
didn't-
in on that or
I
not?
I didn't want to nail him with my rings, you know.
Gotta have a little awkwardness in it.
Yeah. All right, Lee. We appreciate your time, brother. Until next time, we'll sign off
Yep,
and we'll see
we're
you,
out.
dude.
Thank y'all.